Sorry, I was kind of waiting for that. I'm glad everybody could join us today. I'm Amy Faith, the current president of ArkSHA, and we're going to hop right in. I'm going to share the screen from my side, so just bear with me. All right, so here we are. It's 2022 and the ArkSHA State of Affairs. Just first of all, a brief overlook of our leadership structure and who holds what office so that you know who to reach out to if you have any particular questions. I've already introduced myself. I'm the current president of ArkSHA. Our president-elect is Dr. Elizabeth Cleveland, who works at the University of Central Arkansas. And then our immediate past president is Alicia Starkey, who works for the Department of Ed. Jody Hood is our treasurer, and our secretary is Shayla McCullough. Dr. Sharia Hall is our VP of Audiology, and then Cindy Watson is our VP of Speech Language Pathology. The wonderful Danny Welch, I see her on the call today. She is our VP of Continuing Education and is in charge of planning this year's annual convention in October. Our VP-elect for Continuing Education is Tim Chance. Some other important people that work alongside the board with some very specific roles are Lauren Rogers and Cammie Rowland. They are state education advocacy leaders, or our SEALs. So they work with ArkSHA on public school issues. We have Sherry Stevenson, who is the state advocate for reimbursement, or also known as our STAR. And then we have Dr. Portia Carr, who is our state, I'm moving my faces too, as our state advocate for Medicare policy, or our STAMP. And then our lobbyists, who are also very important to our work with legislative advocacy, are Randy Thurman and Courtney Shepard. So just kind of as we get started on some of the information we want to share, begin by, oh no. Bear with me. Just start by talking a little bit about the president's outlook. My personal goals as president this year are to work on the Interstate Compact. We've already begun that work by meeting with the BESPA, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Interstate Compact later today. And then just also to connect more throughout the state with SLPs and audiologists, and just continue to elicit participation from SLPs and audiologists throughout the state. And then we're also just working to improve the financial stability of the association. Like a lot of groups and associations and other type of businesses out there, the pandemic has been really hard on state associations. We want to be transparent about that, and we're working toward just regaining a firm financial footing for the association in the coming years. Our association goals for this year are really just to increase membership. So if you're on the call today and aren't a member of ArkSHA, we definitely would love to have you join the association. It's an important piece of our financial stability, is to increase our membership and get active participation from our members. We are also looking just to improve ArkSHA's position as an important part of the workings of our professions without this and throughout the state. So those are some of our goals for this year. Is Sharia here to talk about government relations?
I don't see her on the call at the moment.
Kind of flipping through faces. Cindy, did you want to step in, or do you want me to cover those slides?
You can go ahead and cover the slides if you don't mind.
Okay. All right, so ArkSHA's government relations, we have been working on the House Bill 1833, which allows a classroom teacher, such as, which is defined as a deduction in addition to other, sorry, I feel like I need to start over on that. So House Bill 1833 allows a classroom teacher to take a really large deduction. We have been advocating to have speech pathologists and other related service providers in schools grouped in to also be allowed to take that big tax deduction that you can see there. That would start here in a couple of years. And we recently submitted comments on and edits for the SLP assistants that have undergone some revision with their regulations with ABESPA. And I know that ABESPA has been reviewing those comments and is working toward just fine tuning some of the licensure laws related to SLP assistants. Another important piece of our legislative advocacy has to do with the Interstate Compact. And so if you're on the call and you haven't heard about the Interstate Compact, I strongly encourage you to Google that. The Interstate Compact is an important piece of legislation that is being sort of funded and at the national level with some big grants, and also being coordinated some of the advocacy efforts through ArkSHA. But the Interstate Compact allows SLPs and audiologists to practice across state lines. There's something called a privilege to practice in participating compact states. It's something that we feel as an association, and ArkSHA also feels is really good for our professions, and is also good for our clients and patient populations as well. So if you, like I said, if you haven't heard about that, I strongly encourage you to Google it, and then just be on the lookout for additional information as we work toward talking to stakeholders, and hopefully we'll bring that forward to the legislature next year. I think Sharia was also going to share a little bit of information about the Hearing Health Advocacy Committee update. So they are looking at to start advocating for Medicaid expansion, specifically focused on adult cochlear implant coverage. I know this has been an issue that has been really concerning to their committee. And has also had some conversation with ArkSHA to get some additional support for that advocacy effort. They've connected also with the American Cochlear Implant Alliance to learn about the process, and reached out to lots of other associations for support. So I've been in on some of those emails. I know they're working hard on that important issue. So Danny, I did see you on the call. Do you want to take over and talk a little bit about all the exciting things that are happening at convention this year?
Sure. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to announce the title for this year is Envision Elevating Your Practice. And we are going to have a wide variety of presentations from across practice settings and a lot of diverse topic areas. So I'm so excited to show you the next slide that shows the speakers and the topics. We also are still open for vendors and sponsorships. So if you have a company or know of a company that might be interested in having an opportunity to have face-to-face networking, I know that's been limited in the last couple of years. So we're hoping to have a really big turnout this year. If you can send any companies that you interact with our way, that would be amazing, so that we could have them come to convention. And students do get a discount, so we encourage all students to come. They will be getting a discount for the convention registration. And we are still accepting call for papers. Will be open through May 15th. So feel free to send us your submissions. We're looking forward to seeing those. And the next slide just shows the list of presentations that we're going to have. We have Sucheta Kamath, who's going to be coming and talking about executive function across the lifespan, and she's going to also do race, diversity, and inclusion. And she's very excited to be bringing information to us on both of those topics. And she will be the keynote speaker on Wednesday night, and then Marva Mount will be the keynote speaker on Thursday morning. And she comes very highly rated from some of the board members that have actually been in her presentations before. So I want to encourage you all to attend this year. As you can see, we're covering a wide variety. We're talking about adult dysphagia. My friends Nicole and Chelsea are coming, and they're going to be discussing fees and dysphagia case studies, and then ethics and supervision. And then Christy Knickerbocker is going to be bringing 2 sessions, adult and pediatric voice, so 1 hour for each, and then private practice for SLPs. We're also having assessment and treatment of stuttering from Ashlyn Thomason, and I'm so excited that Connie Clark from Teams in Northwest Arkansas is going to be bringing her team, and they're going to be discussing how they've implemented a collaborative approach to pediatric feeding and swallowing. And not listed on here is Mary West from Arkansas Children's. Her and a colleague of hers are going to be coming to talk about acute care in pediatric feeding and swallowing. And then our very own Dr. Portia Carr will be covering leadership and career advancement. And then we are hearing from Dr. Samuel Atcherson and Dr. Sierra Warren about audiology and public health and audiological rehab for speech pathologists and audiologists. So I'm hopeful that this year will elevate all of our practice modules across all of our settings, and that we can use all of the events that we've been through over the last couple of years and use that tenacity to bring forth the best in our caseloads. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. It looks like it's going to be another great convention. Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
All right, Lauren or Cammie, do you guys have things to share about the SEAL work? I believe I saw Lauren.
Yes, I'll go ahead and start. Since Cammie mentioned that she had to jump onto an annual review, 'tis the season in the schools. But first and foremost, I just really want to commend ArkSHA and our school-based SLPs around the state. You know, when we as SEALs are engaging in these monthly calls, we are able to hear what other states are dealing with and processing through. And in so many ways, sometimes it's just comforting to know that you're not alone. And so a lot of the things that Arkansas is facing in regards to school-based speech language services are the same issues and struggles that we're seeing nationally. And then in so many ways, Arkansas is really doing really well in the management of the services that we are providing. So if you are a school-based provider, first and foremost, just give yourself a pat on the back for surviving the past 2 years and figuring out how we continue to move forward. So currently, the SEALs are working with ArkSHA on kind of gathering and proposing information for the Interstate Compact, which Amy shared briefly a little while ago, but we think that that will have a really big impact on our recruitment and retention issues that we're experiencing throughout the state. So that's something that we are very invested in. And then we also have been putting forth a lot of work on an interim study proposal, an ISP. This ad hoc committee has really been gathering a lot of information on making recommendations for caseload and workload format for our state. We are trying to offer insight on recruitment and retention with the help of the AASEA. They were very interested in what we were presenting or hoping to present to our legislators, and they are partnering with us in those efforts so that way we can hopefully employ and retain speech therapists that are highly qualified. And we are also highlighting the various roles and responsibilities of school SLPs and how that differs from the clinical model. And so we are very excited. We have the ad hoc committee has really been putting in a lot of effort, and we are hopeful that this will be presented early part of the summer. If we can get some time in front of the legislators. So in addition to that, like I said, Cammie and I, as the SEALs, do engage in a monthly call. And so we're able to hear all kinds of updates. So if you ever have a question about maybe how to handle a situation, please feel free to either shoot Cammie or myself a message, and we'd be happy to kind of field some of those questions through other states to see what they're doing, or just kind of comment and help you process through how to best handle that situation based on the rules and regs and situations that we're aware of within our own state. So in addition to that, one other big thing that the SEALs have been trying to work on and getting more information back and forth to our board is just the SLPA certification. In the past year, ArkSHA has developed their own SLP certification process, and it has really helped streamline a lot of those provision of services for states around the country, and being able to hire and regulate a little bit more about what the qualifications are there, and increasing ethics and awareness of what those roles and responsibilities should fall under. So if you ever have any questions, just feel free to shoot either Cami or myself an email. Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. And thank you too for all your hard work that you've been up to. All right. I haven't seen Colleen on the call. I'm sorry, Sherry on the call. Colleen, did you have anything you wanted to share?
Sure, I don't mind sharing. For the past year, the Therapy Association, which includes AROTA, RPTA, and ArkSHA, have been working diligently with DHS to update the Arkansas Medicaid manual and discuss increasing Medicaid reimbursement rates. We've not seen a change in rates since 2008, as many of you know. The Medicaid manual was updated in January of this year. It includes new language for the therapy sections, and it now has a link that embeds the accepted tests. Currently, the rate increase of 16% for the first year and 15% for the second year has been agreed upon by the therapy groups and DHS. And that's a total of 31% over the next 2 years. And those rates apply to treatment rates. It's currently going through the promulgation process and will retro back to April 1 of 2022. The passes have been communicated with, and they are aware of these upcoming increases as well.
All right. Thanks, Colleen. That's such great news.
Thanks.
Right. Portia?
Yes. So I feel like we've been working on the same stuff since like 2019. As I always say, everything is snail pace at the Medicare level, but some progress is better than none. We're still working really hard to try to get permanent telehealth provisions. It's always just on the cycle of the PHE, which as of now is until April the 16th. Hopefully it'll get extended. We're thinking it will, but it's every 90 days. And as restrictions loosen and we return to normal circumstances, it's just not guaranteed. Whereas in the beginning, it felt like it was a given. So we really need to get out there and continue to advocate for permanent telehealth coverage. ArkSHA has developed the Expanded Telehealth Access Act, and you can access that by going to ArkSHA Take Action. I'll put the link in the chat, but if you go to ArkSHA.org and go to Advocacy, then you can see all the different bills that are in place. So you'll see the Expanded Telehealth Access Act on there. And we need to be doing that several times a month if possible, and just sending that out to our colleagues and really just worrying Congress to death. Like, hey, don't forget about this. We do have some people on board, but there are some members of Congress who want the data for utilization, outcomes, cost, quality, and patient satisfaction. ArkSHA is currently working on compiling that data by paying private payers, which I think is pretty interesting, but that's the point it has come to. So they're paying private insurance providers, and they are also going to be sending out a survey pretty soon. So if you are a Medicare provider, please be sure to fill out that survey. It's very important because some members of Congress have questions about the parity of in-person and telehealth services. So they're trying to figure out if the reimbursement rate should be the same or if it should be lower. Obviously, we think it should be the same. Some other updates are that If you bill for Medicare Part B services, then a 1% cut on the claims went into effect on April 1st. And it's just part of Medicare cuts that will be phased throughout the year of 2022. That cut will increase to 2% in July. I mean, we don't like to see any cuts, but it was originally supposed to be 10%. So, I mean, ArkSHA's been working really hard to decrease that. And then lastly, we are also advocating for the Medicare Audiologist Access and Services Act. This act will help audiologists because it will provide coverage for diagnostic and treatment services, and it will remove the physician order requirement, and it'll also secure their practitioner status. So that will give them more codes to bill, like the treatment services. You can also advocate for the MESA Act by going to Advocacy or clicking on the link that's on here. We can put that in the chat as well. So as always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me directly, and I'll be glad to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Portia. All right, Elizabeth, did you want to share about some of the things that are going on with marketing and membership?
Sure, thanks, Amy. We've got some exciting ideas for the marketing committee this year, and hopefully we'll move forward with increasing recruitment, just like Amy was talking about. And one of those things is the ArkSHA merch store. And there's a slide, in the next slide covers that. So I'll go into a little bit more detail in just a second. But we are selling items, and the proceeds will go to ArkSHA. We're also going to try to revamp the website just a little bit, not a big revamp, but a few things, organization changes, things like that. Organization on the website changes. And then one of the other things that we talked about in our marketing committee meeting is going green. Not only is this financially responsible, it's also environmentally responsible. There's a lot of perks to it. And now is the perfect time when we're all used to going green for everything else. There's been some updated NISLA recruitment, PowerPoints and things like that, some things to help with that NISLA recruitment. Amy talked about the student discount for ArkSHA for students, and especially if they're NISLA students, this could be very appropriate for them. And so if you work at a university or are an alum at a university and are willing to help us with that recruitment, please let me know. And we're working on some other exciting opportunities, like I said, to increase that membership, to recruit new members and to recruit student members. If you'll move to the next slide, please. Thanks. And so this is just a very small sample of some of the merchandise that's available on the store. Might need to. Oh, are you trying to get it bigger, Amy?
I'm not sure. Hang on a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Bear with me.
The suspense makes the merchandise better, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go. Yeah, perfect.
Sorry.
So no worries at all. As you can see, there are t-shirts, there are stickers, there's drinkware, there's other accessories, there are bags. And right now there are just a few designs, but if you have a design in mind, and if you're a creative person or perhaps have creative students who are shadowing you, reach out to me and to Marilyn, because we can put those designs on the ArkSHA website. Also, if you have a company that sells t-shirts every year and you want to give those proceeds to ArkSHA, a really easy way to do that is to sell your t-shirts on the ArkSHA website, because those proceeds automatically go into the ArkSHA account. And I think that's all I've got.
All right. always really exciting things going on with marketing. Right, just moving forward, I don't think Sharia has joined us. Cindy, did you want to share anything about the fundraising?
Yes, and the fundraising committee we've talked about in the marketing meetings, that they seem to work closely together because all of us, our ultimate goal is to improve our bottom line, and so that we can continue supporting speech pathologists and audiologists in our state and fund those things like our lobbyists and website and all the things. But we still are raising funds for our Betty Bass Scholarship. We're going to do the Give 5 campaign again, like has been done in the past. And it'll be in May during Better Speech and Hearing Month. But people can donate $5 to ArkSHA. And like I said, that money would go towards the Betty Bass Scholarship. And it's, or we have funds available for that. It's awarded annually to one graduate student in the state of Arkansas. And then, like I said, the Give 5 campaign for the donations, and those are tax deductible to ArkSHA, since we are a 501(c) or C3 in Arkansas for education and research. There will be a prize like there was last year. I believe there was a gift basket. So if people donated $5 or more, their name was put into a hat. And then they won a prize. We're still going to get together and figure out before May so we can advertise that, what that bonus, what you might win for giving additional funds to ArkSHA will be. And that's it right now on fundraising, but just to encourage maybe people in other university settings. The NISLA group at the University of Arkansas has chosen ArkSHA as their philanthropy group, I would say. They do a benefit night once a month at different businesses here in Northwest Arkansas, and they get a percentage of the sales. And so that percentage of sales will go to ArkSHA for this year. And then they pick a new one every year, but the students are excited to give back to the organization that they will hopefully continue to be a member of when they graduate and are practicing speech pathologists and audiologists. So I'm super excited because we're raising some funds that way, and getting the students help and getting them excited about the association.
All right, thanks, Cindy. All right, Alicia Starkey, our past president, runs the committee for honors and awards, and she's under the weather today. So I'm gonna cover her information as best I can. Just in summary, the honors of the association, the Clinical Career Award, the Public Schools Award, and the Research Award all go to well-deserving speech pathologists and audiologists in the state, but we rely on members to nominate those people so that we can honor them for all of their contributions. So be on the lookout for colleagues that you think would be well-deserving of this type of honor, and send their information to us. Those submissions are due by July 15th, and then we will announce those awards in advance of the convention and are able to celebrate those colleagues there at the annual convention in October. There's just a little bit of information about the award for clinical achievement, the audiology award, and then we also have that new medical award, which I think is a great addition to our menu of awards. Like I said, just a really great way to honor our well-deserving colleagues. We are adding the Summer Schools Conference to our menu of professional development this year. We're also really excited about this upcoming conference. It is going to be June 21st and 22nd. It's going to happen via Zoom. The price is $129 for non-members, $99 for ArkSHA members, and registration is live on the ArkSHA website. So we hope that you check it out and register so that we can see you this summer. The theme is Learn Local, and we are learning local through presentations presented by a lot of fabulous presenters from our very own state. We're offering up to 14 hours over 2 days of continuing education. We will be able to participate together in a room or on your own or at your own pace. And we really hope that you can join us. These are just a sampling of the topics that we have included in our schedule. Selective mutism, Easter seals is presenting on some really great topics. We're talking about strategies for working with students with autism. Always legislative advocacy will be an important part of our conversation. Pediatric feeding and swallowing, AAC, communication ready classroom. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I hope that we see many of you there. All right, just to wrap up for today, questions are always well received. Here's how you can reach us and follow us on social media. We are always here to serve SLPs and audiologists throughout the state. We look forward to hearing from all of you. If you're on the call today, I said this at the beginning, and are not a member, we hope that we find you soon on our membership roles. We are always looking for members to get involved with committees and other action plans. So if you are on the call today and you're like, man, I would really like to help out in some way, we have definitely a job for you. No matter how small or how large your time commitment could be, we'll find a way to use your talents and your in that small sliver of time or a large amount of time that you would have to share with us. It's been a pleasure for me this year to serve as the current president. I've told several people that the very best part of being involved with ArkSHA is getting to meet other SLPs and audiologists that are not in my normal work circles and be able to branch out and make lots of new connections in other work settings. And I'm just constantly amazed by all of the wonderful, knowledgeable, capable SLPs and audiologists that we have throughout the state. And it has been, like I said, an honor and a pleasure to get to know all of them. And we look forward to serving you this year in ArkSHA. And do not hesitate to reach out if you need us. But that's it for today. I think we're going to hold on the call just for a minute if anyone has a question or a comment before we wrap up.